वेलकम टू MAAsterG's मुंबई कम्युनिटी पेज। आज हमारा फर्स्ट इवेंट है कर्नाटका बैंक के साथ।
जैसे कि आप सब जानते हैं कि स्ट्रेस हमारी वर्क लाइफ का एक इंटीग्रल पार्ट बन चुका है एंड हमें लगता है कि स्ट्रेस के साथ ही हमें अपनी लाइफ बितानी पड़ेगी। बट इसी सोल्यूशन के साथ हम गए थे कर्नाटका बैंक के रीजनल ऑफिस मुंबई में। So let's see how this event went on stress and work-life balance, called the balance sheet of life.
So, till now we understood about the financial and the inner energy which Vedantika explained. So now let us talk about the most important and most practical topic, stress. How stress originates, from where it comes. Once we understand what is stress, because when I came even to meet Sir 3 days back, 3 weeks back, and we had meetings, he definitely addressed that stress is something that everyone deals with on daily basis, and we agree to that. But also I must tell you that after MAAsterG's wisdom that we received, all of us who are listening to the lectures regularly are living stress-free lives. Can you believe that? And this is not just me. So many people in Mumbai who will support me when I say this, that we are living stress-free lives, right? That means that we've come up with a solution for you to embark on this journey and get stress-free lives yourself, without leaving anything, without doing anything additionally, just incorporating a little bit of this wisdom in your daily lives. So stress, what exactly is stress? As Vedantika explained, that the energy which we have inside gets converted into thoughts. But what happens is the mind, which is actually the controller of this entire mechanism, when the mind does not have the right knowledge, it thinks towards the results of the actions. So all those thoughts which are linked to the results of the actions, they are the ones who create stress. I'll give you a very small example. When will I get my appraisal? That is something that is not there in our hands. Only the effort is there. But the thought which is created towards the result of your action, it has automatically triggered stress inside you. Am I going to meet my targets? Again, it's a result-oriented thing. But it has triggered a stress because you're thinking about the result. Am I going to sustain my family well? Am I good enough? Thoughts of self-doubt which create stress. Why did this happen to me? Everyone must have encountered these questions and so many more questions actually, which we don't have answers to, which in turn leads to stress, because there is so much of ignorance around these questions that if our mind does not have the right knowledge, it will ultimately end up absorbing, spending that energy into that thought and overthinking, which results into anxiety, at a later stage depression, and even suicidal thoughts, as Hima ma'am mentioned about the case. So we want to make the mind a master, not the slave, right? Because once it becomes a slave of the 5 senses, what happens is that whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we touch, we smell, we taste, they become triggers to us. If we see something which is a little uncertain, or any unfavorable situation comes in our life and we see it, automatically it triggers a lot of stress, anxiety, because the mind has become a slave of the senses. Whatever you'll hear, which is unpleasant to the ears, suddenly it has become a trigger now. If someone says something wrong to you or bad to you, so the mind is not trained to handle all of that negativity, right? The mind is not trained to handle failure, because if someone fails, that's not the end of life. That's just a learning. When mind is not trained to handle all the negative sets of traits of this game, automatically, the mind becomes slave. But with the right knowledge, you can enable the mind to be the master of these senses, in which it can control that energy which you are expending otherwise relentlessly into thoughts which do not have any meaning in your life, and they are unnecessarily creating blockages inside you, which prevent you from being in the present moment. So to become the master, so for the mind to become the master, this is a very, very important slide, because this will give you the overview of the functional elements of life. We have a respiratory system, so we are able to breathe. We have the excretory system, we have the digestive system in our bodies. Similarly, there is a functional system, and because of which we are able to operate in the outer world. So knowingly or unknowingly, everything that you all are doing today is linked to the functional system, which involves ego, attachment, lust, anger, and greed. Now the thing is that all of this is okay because this is given to us. We did not make any of this. This is given to us to play the game of life, which Hema ma'am initially mentioned. The game, right? So it is given to us to play this game. But what happens is that if we do not have the right wisdom about these, they can go in the excessive direction and become lethal to our own self. Whereas if they are kept in check, they are fine. It's okay. Talking about ego. So ego is nothing at a very preliminary level, an identification. I am Gurashish, she's Hema, she's Vedantika, that's Saurabh. We are all different beings. So we have our different identities to play this game. But एक saying है, मुझे पता नहीं किसने invent की, शायद मैंने की हो, कि मैं हूँ versus मैं ही हूँ. That it's just I'm there versus I'm the only one that exists. So when ego is not kept in check, it leads to a lot of self-centeredness, which means that you will be all about yourself. That these are my thoughts, these are opinions, everyone should follow it. This is what I'm saying and you must follow it because I have said it. Right? So ego, if not kept in check, it will result to a world which you create within your own self, which is all about you, without having any empathy for the others. Second, attachment. Now, attachment is something which is, if it's kept in check, it results into a very good element of responsibility. For example, our families. We are attached to our families today. We take care of them, be it our children, our wives, be it our relatives, because we have a sense of attachment and a belonging to them. But if this attachment is not kept a check on, it results into possessiveness. That this person, place, thing, this belongs to me. Whereas we all know that it's a game of life. We came into this body and then we are all travelers. We will be departing and everyone has their own individual journey. So we cannot possess anybody. We cannot be attached to it or possessed with anybody. We have to balance out that attachment. Similarly, stress is nothing but the result of our attachment to the result. When that attachment, becomes balanced, you will stop having stress because you're not attached to the results. You're doing your efforts, which is what is required to counter stress. Lust is something we all are a byproduct of lust, right? We all are born out of lust. But if lust is not kept in check, then you end up objectifying everybody. You end up seeing everybody from eyes that make them uncomfortable, first of all. And then it leads to social disasters such as the cases that have happened in Kolkata lately. So again, if lust is kept in check, it is alright because it is given to us to procreate, have families, have babies, but if not kept in check, then there is no end to it. There is no end to it. Anger is something which is a tool given to us because if something is happening wrong and we actually use anger in the right sense, then we have that power to correct that person. We have that power to get work done, if not done on the right time or deadlines. But when anger, if too overused, it will definitely spoil all the relations. It will spoil all the relations. It will self-harm you also, because if we are using anger too much, ultimately, that poison will end up accumulating inside us. Last, greed. Greed is nothing but a vision to grow, if we say. So at a preliminary level, the vision to grow is great. We all have our visionary maps for the years further, maybe for the next 5 years, where we are going. But what happens is that if greed is not kept in check and you go in excess, then what happens is you lose focus on every other part of the life. It will take you only in that narrow direction, that money, and you end up ignoring the families, you end up ignoring your health, and then later we realize, oh my god, yaar, ye sara jo money wo health ko hi sahi karne mein ja raha hai at the end of it in hospitals, right? So that is why this knowledge of these 5 functional elements is very important, because we all are operating out of them today. Once you have this right knowledge to control these 5 elements, to keep a check on self-check, which MAAsterG's wisdom, the lectures that we give you today, will help you generate that wisdom, and on a daily basis keep a check on them, you will start experiencing that happiness and that bliss, because automatically your functional system is starting to get aligned. Once it's getting aligned, automatically the happiness and bliss is the properties of the soul energy, which Hema ma'am talked about, that automatically you will start experiencing them.
Now that you have seen the key bits of the event was phenomenal.
और बैंकर्स ने काफी क्वेश्चंस पूछे हमसे और हमने बिल्कुल इन्हीं आंसर्स जितनी भी कोशिश करी, आई थिंक दे वर क्वाइट सैटिस्फाइड.
तो ये जानना बहुत जरूरी है कि स्ट्रेस क्या है. स्ट्रेस इज नथिंग बट using your life energy into thoughts that are linked to the results of your actions. So we hope that आपको ये वीडियो अच्छा लगा हो, and for more videos, subscribe to the channel, like, share and comment.